All right, we're talking Forest City baseball. Bill O'Dell with us here today at our Arcaro and Genell's Takeaway Kitchen. And Bill, let's talk about this season, the outlook that you have for your ball players.
Well, it looks pretty good. We got real good pitching this year again. I've got 3 strong starters. We're going to be young. We graduated 6 seniors. So we're a small school. We only have 11 players. So, but we're just got to get our outfield going, you know, get the kids outside. We still have a foot of snow on the ground. But once we get going, I think we're going to be fine. We've got 5 good starters that are good hitters, you know, and then in our league, if you can get 5 good hitters, you can do pretty good. So I think we're going to be okay.
With the pitch count rule this year, is it fair to say all 11 kids may have to throw at some point, or make all of them kind of aware, like, listen, I might need you for an inning?
Well, I've got 5 or 6 guys that can throw, but I've got 3 real strong starters. So I think we only have 12 games. I think we're going to be in good shape. You know, if we don't get bottled up with the weather and stuff, I think we're going to be fine.
Let's talk about the bottled up part, because everybody's pretty much been in the gym. Fair to say at Forest City, you guys have been in the gym the whole time too.
Yes. We were supposed to have our first game Saturday. They moved it up against Elk Lake, but I'm not seeing it happening. But if it is, it'll be our first time outside.
Talk about trying to, you know, is it possible to try to get a couple more players with that roster of 11? Obviously, if somebody goes down, that stings a lot with such a small roster. Are you in the school or trying to say, hey, see if your buddy will go out? We can use a couple more guys.
We have been. We've been, you know, having our players asked, and now next year we have a big 8th grade class, but this is not new for us. We've gone with 11 a couple times now. So last year we only had 12. So you know, we're used to it.
Let's talk about the hitting this year. What do you need to do in the league that you play in as far as just getting guys on base, trying to advance them and score some runs?
Well, I do have a lot of speed this year, and I have a couple big hitters. R.J. Courts, he was one of the best hitters in the whole league last year. He's a senior this year. He's on base all the time, steals all the time. Really messes with the pitchers. So he's good. But we've got 5 strong. So I'm not too worried. You know. We've got some speed stuck in. Some of the younger kids we got coming up, a lot of speed if we can get them comfortable stealing. But I think we'll be okay. I think we've got some really strong. The top 5 I do have hit, they're very strong. Maybe stronger than last year.
Well, great to hear. I know you're excited about the season to get underway, and we appreciate you coming out to our Arcaro and Genell tonight. Dave Kovaleski from the Forest City Foresters baseball team, assistant coach. And Dave, let's talk a little bit about your role with this group of, you know, Coach and you have a relationship where he says, hey, Dave, this is what I really need you to do.
Yeah, Coach and I have been working together quite a few years, from Little League on up through Teeners and now in the varsity. So we kind of, as far as, you know, whatever he needs, I fill in for him.
11 guys on the roster, so numbers are tight.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about being as positive with you as you could with the guys, but making sure, hey, you know, you guys are going to have to work no matter what happens.
Yeah, you know, we're unfortunately stuck in the gym due to weather, but we are working hard in there. And but it's, you know, it's getting tough because they're getting bored just as we are. But we're working hard in the cage and what little bit of fielding we can do inside. So we're working hard.
Coach feels pretty strongly about the pitching staff this year. Talk a little bit about what you see early with these pitchers.
You know, our top 3 pitchers, they are pretty strong, and I think we're going to be okay. The pitch count this year, it may affect us, you know, especially with the season, and we still have snow on the ground up home. So if we get delayed a little bit and games start piling up, it might play an effect on us. So.
Overall, how about the hitting this year? Talk about the guys that could get on base and you know, hopefully, you know, maybe a long ball or 2.
Yeah, I think you know, we have R.J. Courts, a senior this year, really strong. He's been with us for the last 3 seasons. Kyle Shima, junior, and Dakota Cook, another junior. So you know, we're going to be on top, we're going to be good, and then if we get to 8 and 9, we're going to trail off a little bit.
As far as a successful season in your mind, I mean, you're a small school. Just getting out there, being healthy, having the camaraderie with the guys, in some regards, that could be a successful season. You guys probably want a little bit more than that, but nonetheless, it's a good accomplishment for these guys at such a small group. Let's get out there and play ball.
Yeah, last year we lost 5 seniors, but so we got 4 guys coming back, and we have to fill 5 spots, and we're going to be a little young, no doubt, but I think we're going to do okay.
As far as the league overall and some of the teams that you're going to play, talk about some of the competition. You know these teams in and out, I'm sure.
Montrose is going to be tough. They always are. Lackawanna Trail, they always give a good game. And I think this year, because we are a little young, we're going to have, I think, our hands full a little bit. But ultimately, I think we're going to do okay.
Well, we wish you well, and great to see you, and thanks for coming out to Arcaro and Genell's Takeaway Kitchen.
Thank you.
Tyler Clift from the Forest City Foresters baseball team with us. And Tyler, let's talk a little bit about your outlook for this season with this young team.
Well, I hope we have a good season. We have some good young talent coming up. We don't have a lot of leaders, but I hope people can step up and create some offense and defense for us.
Graduating those guys from last year, talk about what you missed with those guys, and then, of course, you got to replace them. No matter what, everybody's got to step up and move on.
Yeah, well, we had some heavy hitters with those guys. We had a lot of good defense with them too. Our whole outfield is gone now, so kids have to step up and take those positions.
Coach feels pretty strong about your pitching this year. 3 strong pitchers. Talk about those arms and what you see in that pitching staff.
Definitely, I think our pitching could definitely win us some games. I think we're going to be able to go deep into our pitching. A lot of kids coming up. We got some pitchers coming up, so I think we'll be good.
How about let's talk about your catcher this year and who's going to play and what do you think? You got to have a backup just in case.
Yeah, we got some kids trying out for catcher. We're hoping one of them really sticks out, hoping they really try and compete for that position, hoping kids try get out there and do their best.
Coach said there's a lot of speed on this team. Talk a little bit about if that's you. You're a soccer player, basketball guy, so tell us about your wheels.
Yeah, I'm one of the faster kids. It helps a lot getting on base first and RJ knocking out and getting me in there.
As far as the pitch count this year, has Coach talked to you guys a lot about that? Because that seems to be one of those big roles this year that should play into a team like you that only has 11 players.
Yeah, no, he hasn't talked that much to us about that, but hopefully we can go with it.
Well, Tyler, we appreciate you coming out tonight. We wish you the very best this season.
Thank you.
Kyle Shima with us from the Forest City Foresters baseball team. And Kyle, let's talk about your role this year. Was Coach saying, hey, Kyle, this is what I need you to do? And obviously, everybody's got to do something with only 11 players. To talk about what Coach expects of you.
He expects me to just make the plays, give each other heads up, keep the players in line, get them hyped up before the games and everything. Teach them everything, like ground balls, how to hit and everything.
You graduated some leaders and some talented guys from last year. So talk about now stepping up as a leader and a junior with some young players. As far as that goes, what are some little things you try to do to encourage some of the other players?
I just basically show them what to do. If they're having a hard time, at practice, if they're I see they're not hitting right or something, I'll go up to them and help them out and everything. Just keep them in line.
How about your game? Let's talk about, you feel you're going to be more of an offensive player this year or a defensive player?
Offense. I've been hitting the ball really good in the cage, on the tee. I've been doing a lot of tee work this year, lifting a lot and everything, so I think I'll be an offensive player mostly.
What's it like being a Forest City Forester? It's an unusual or rare name, the Foresters, which is awesome. You guys have great colors, love the purple and yellow, and of course, you got some good students there, and then, a lot of kids that are athletes may play multiple sports, so talk a little bit about your experience.
I mean, some kids have already with the team to play other sports and everything, and I don't know, just it's hard, you know what I mean, because there's so many little kids there and everything. I mean, we got really good athletes at our school, and they just it sucks to see them go to a different sport, you know what I mean? Because we've had one kid. Never mind, I'm not going to get into that.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. So talk a little bit about the players that you do have. Who do you expect to do well for the baseball team?
RJ Quartz, Dakota Knehr-Cook, Tyler Cliff. And, I think they're going to be really great. And a lot of freshmen that came up this year, they're looking really good. A lot of good hitters, infielders, outfielders this year.
As far as the pitch count this year, something you're worried about, or you think it'll all work out?
I think it'll all work out good, just like more efficient, just get ground ball outs, fly outs, not try and strike everyone out.
What some players that you've seen in the gym saying, hey, I think this guy's going to be pretty good. Can you name a couple?
Cody Tomlinson, Corey Daniels, he's a freshman this year. That's about it.
As far as what kind of talent do those guys have? You think they're going to be offensive forces, defensive forces?
Both. I mean, they're really good.
Coach feels like you guys have some strong pitching and some strong hitting. So the league overall, what teams do you get excited to play?
Blue Ridge, Elk Lake, and Montrose. Montrose is always really good.
Should be a nice challenge this year. We wish you the very best. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Dakota Knehr-Cook with us from the Forest City Foresters baseball team. And Dakota, let's talk about what position you're going to play this year. And I'm sure you have to probably play a few positions with such a small roster. So tell us about your first position, and then if there is going to be a secondary position.
Well, the last 2 years I've been playing I've been starting at third base. This year, the catcher situation we had, we lost our catcher Dylan last year, so I'm going to have to step up and be a catcher this year. So third base is my primary position, but I'll be catching this year mostly, unless I'm pitching.
Element of toughness in both third base and catcher. Let's talk about some of the pitchers as a catcher. Who's throwing well so far early in the preseason?
Well, RJ's got some great heat, awesome pitches. He's got a couple different pitches. He mixed it up really well. Kyle's secondary pitcher. He's got some speed too on him. Nice changeup, definitely. Can mix it up.
What's it like growing up in your community? Because it is such a small group of student athletes and students, and overall you get to know your teachers pretty well, probably smaller class sizes. But take us through what it's been like, your experience.
Yeah, definitely everyone knows everyone. I mean, me personally, I like that. Just keeps us close. Sports is a huge thing in our community, so.
Talk about when you're not playing baseball, what are some things that you try to get out to do?
Well, mostly we just hang out. I mean, we hang out, go up to the Kennedy Park that's up in Forest City, play basketball. We get pickup games everywhere. Van Leek Field, all around.
As far as some of the players you've seen early in the preseason, you think that are going to have a good season, take us through a few that.
I'm definitely looking forward to Jake Decker. I think Jake's definitely a really good pitcher. He's probably one of the best in the league, and I'm looking forward to facing him this year.
How about your coaches? Talk about what kind of energy they bring at practice and their expectations for you guys.
Coaches are great. I think they bring lots of practice. Definitely keep the energy high. They're funny guys. They like to joke around, but we get our things done. Serious. We're serious when we practice.
Offensively, what do you feel like your attributes are at the plate?
At the plate, definitely just doing what I have to do to get everything done. Guys on base, you got to get them in.
Well, we wish you well this season. Good luck at that catcher role for the Foresters. RJ Kurtz with us from the Forest City Foresters, and RJ, boy, you had a nice introduction from the players on the team, from your coaches. Is that something that you don't mind carrying around on your shoulders, of that everybody having high expectations of you?
I mean, it's definitely good in some aspects, but I mean, I do like to have the high expectations because it kind of makes me feel like I want to do better at the same time. They kind of help me out, like push me to do better. Because I always want to do better, help the team out, so they really push me to be what I am today.
Now, whether it's your arm or your bat or whatever, let's talk first about your bat and the expectations there, because Coach says he can really hit the ball.
Yeah, so they've been putting me in the leadoff spot for the past few years now, and that's really been working out because I really just try to get on base, and from there I just try to get the guys behind me to like knock me in. I sometimes steal a few bases, but really the key for me is just getting on base, because I know that the guys behind me always have a really good chance of getting me in. Got some really big bats behind me.
Talk about that ability, I guess, to be a little chancy, maybe to steal a base or do what you have to do to say, okay, hey, now I'm on second or I'm over on third, to give other guys an opportunity to maybe get you in and get a run.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk, but it's definitely a risk worth taking. If I could just steal a base, and I usually can get a good read on the pitcher, if I think I got a good read on the catcher, or I see a ball going down quick, I usually take that split-second decision and make it into a big play where maybe I'll steal second, steal third, steal home, but every bit of 90 feet that we can get is definitely going to help in the long run. That's one base closer scoring a run.
Let's talk about being that student of the game. Is that something that kind of came natural? Do you have some people around you that kind of said, "Oh, hey, here's what you need to do"?
Yeah, it's definitely natural, but the coaches that I've had throughout the years definitely taught me that I'm going to learn so much from this game, whether it's just more than the baseball aspect of it too. They've taught me some life lessons that definitely going to help me throughout my life.
Talk about those life lessons, being at a small school like Forest City, and things that you can take into your life going forward. Some things you really enjoy about being in a small school setting.
The best part about being in a small school setting is that these guys that I play with, they're my best friends on the field, but they're my best friends off the field too. Because I tell you, we hang out all the time. Like the whole team chemistry aspect of it is amplified because there's so little of us where we're always together and we're always in class together. We're always friends. So we're just bonding closer and closer every day, which makes the game so much easier.
A lot of these guys saying, "Hey, we're up at the park playing basketball, hanging out, doing that type of stuff." Talk about what that's like with such a small group of guys. You probably know a little bit about every sport they play and the different parts of their game.
Exactly, we do. I mean, we're such good friends. Like we all follow each other in sports. Even the sports that we don't play, we follow our friends just because we're so close together. And when we go up the park, we play basketball together. Everything we do is pretty much together because we're just such a close group of friends, and it's just awesome that way because it really helps us when we actually get onto the sports field and like actually play our games because we're so much closer together. It's not like a whole aspect of I don't know this guy around me. We're just close. We all know each other well.
Being a senior, obviously you're the leader of this team. Talk about what type of leadership that you bring to this team and trying to get guys to respond to you.
I just want to bring the best out of everybody this year because we have a pretty young team this year and we're going to need all those young guys to step up too. And we want them to feel really welcome on our team. We want them to feel like they know that they're going to have to make a difference too. Because really, we're a very young team this year, so we kind of need everybody to step up this year and play our game because we want to really repeat the season that we had last year, if not do better. And we're going to really need the young guys to step up too. So I'm going to try to bring those guys up to where we are and let them know, like, hey, we need you here. You're welcome here, Make them feel good about themselves.
Let's talk about the arms this year because Coach says, listen, we got 3 really strong pitchers, but I think we have a couple of guys if we need to, and we may need to with that 100 pitch count.
Yeah, we definitely have guys at the back end of our bullpen, and they're really good guys. We have guys that can come in and throw strikes for us. We have a bunch of different arms in the bullpen that we're really we might have to use eventually during this year with this new pitch count. And I'm really confident that those guys that we're going to bring in are going to throw some strikes. And we have a good defense behind them. We're really confident in that too.
How about the future endeavors for you? Do you have a plan yet? You're kind of still feeling things out as to what's next?
No, I'm going to go to St. John Fisher College to play baseball. I'm going to pitch up there. I think I'm going to go study marketing up there too.
Talk about why St. John Fisher. What were some of your choices and why'd you decide on that?
So I decided on them because I loved it up there. The first thing was I felt so welcomed up there when I came up. And last year they went to the College World Series, which was a big thing for me too. Like they're a very successful baseball program. The academics are very high there. They're a really welcoming team. All the kids there were super nice to me. It was just a perfect fit for me. Smaller school, kind of like the area of Forest City where I wanted to feel more personalized to me. I wanted the whole education of it to feel like it was a personalized. So I really liked it there. Everything about it was great.
Sounds like you got a bright future ahead of you. Of course, you want to have the brightest spring season here with the baseball team for Forest City. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.